We jamming. What's up? Kevin Hale here on this Sunday night, February 1st. February 1st.
That's right.
1 month into the year,
Mm-hmm.
round of shots. Streaming on X, YouTube, Davo, TB to start the show going. I don't know if you paid attention to the intro. Yeah, I changed it a little bit and added a nice little graphic where it shows three shot glasses with Kevin, Davo, and TB on it. And there is a reason why that display happened. Davo, I started, round of shots years ago and was kind of doing my thing and hosting, and then, had my occasional guests. And Davo, you and I connected, and I've just, you and I connected. We connected, on a lot of levels, and you became a regular in Round of Shots. So I was like, okay, you just want to be my partner in crime, for a Sunday night live stream. And you said yes. So that immediately made you minority owner. Remember, minority owner, majority owner. And then, we keep doing this show. We've done this show several years. And one of the other recurring people happens to be, Brady Bunch was Alice, kind of, TB, Terry Brown. Terry's been a good friend of mine. We're fellow Louisvillians, podcasters, Bleed Blue. We do Bleed Blue. We go back some years too, as far as our fandom of Kentucky sports. Davo, we had a suggestion. I ran it by you. You gave it a thumbs up. So you get to do the official glazing. Ready? Go.
TB is an awesome guy, super well respected, not only just personal level, but throughout the Twitterverse and the social media world, which is really hard to do. Certified sunshine pumper, fellow podcaster, like Kevin said, obviously has a fantastic show, Cats Talk Wednesdays with Vinny, every Wednesday. TB, you're a great guy. And we obviously you was on here way before me, so I feel kind of weird doing this, right? But me and Kevin would love to have you on, full time, a guest and just a partner in crime, I guess, as we continue to press forward with this thing.
Yeah, I'm good to be.
Love you, man.
Please don't call me a minority owner. It's Black History Month, so please don't do that.
February was a bad time for that phrase. Yeah.
All right.
But yes, I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad to be. I'm here anyway because Kevin's like, exactly. This is what we're going to do. Yeah. I'm like, I pretty much am here every Sunday. So because the wife is always asking, round of shots tonight. I said round of shots tonight. So
where's the rest of our guests at? Where'd everybody go?
Well, I wanted to, do those honors, and then let's bring in the other players. The other players tonight. Nolan, Rando, Dylan making his round of shots return.
Media goat.
Yeah, here he is. Good to see, man. We got a nice little crew tonight. We will let's talk. Let's go straight in. This past week.
Can we skip Vanderbilt?
Well, I'm gonna have to just summarize it, but to the point we can skip it. Do all we'll do the heavy lifting with last night's game, the Arkansas game. We had 1 week, two road games, two very different Kentucky teams. Against Vandy, we got smacked and didn't smack back. And then last night at Arkansas, in what was a very physical game. And we're going to talk about this too. There is some deliberate things Arkansas does, like how they push when someone's in the air, or that's not a player. Several different players do that. So to me, that's like it's kind of instructed to do. But anyways, Dave, I'll start with you. This past week, take us. Where you at feeling now?
I guess we can mention a little bit of the Vanderbilt game. Let me let my dogs out. Hold on before they get to barking.
I don't know if it's just me or not, but I can't hear Kevin at all. I can hear everybody else when they talk, and I'm not trying to interrupt or I couldn't know if y'all could see my messages or not. So it's hard to know where we're at. I don't know if I need to hop out and hop in. One of y'all
hop out, then hop back in. I've had that issue myself. So
can you all hear me though? I mean,
I can hear
you. We got you. We got you.
Yeah, but sometimes I can't, so I have to do that, Dylan.
Yeah, I've done that before too.
Okay.
All right,
Are we good?
Yeah.
Well, now that Maria has cleared the air, she made it official. She can hear.
Okay. Vanderbilt was just a something that we shouldn't probably even discuss. It was a game where we're gonna blame it on the ice storm that we wasn't prepared. Vanderbilt came off some really tough losses as well. Then they had a get right game versus Mississippi State, blew them out the water. Got Kentucky down in Nashville. We played like crap. It was a very uninspiring form of basketball. Turnovers everywhere. Missed threes, wide open missed layups. Stupid fouls. It was just a terrible, sucky game all the way around. There really isn't much more to talk about with it. It's time to get our get back whenever they come back to rep.
TB, go.
Quote the great Charles Dickens, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. We had a really good game last night, a rougher game on Tuesday night. Let's see we know what this team is capable of, right? They've given us these good glimpses. Can we do it for the next 9 games? That's the takeaway from this week for me is we looked really bad. We've looked really good. Can we put enough really good performances together to really, raise that seed level for the big tournament?
Dylan, I'll go to you. Once again, we had a sorry ass performance in the middle of the week, and last night was pretty. It's like the guys just manned up, cowboyed up last night, and matched the Arkansas physicality. But with that said, it's still part of this kind of roller coaster season. So what's your vibe from last night and how you're feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling on top of the world right now. Of course, the vibe is great. I was taking some victory laps on social media last night, and I don't do that very often. But
is it because some Arkansas people would be?
No, I'll just be real. I am the most appreciative person for the John Calipari era that you will meet. But also, I'll be honest,
you're in this group.
I went from not really covering the team to my platform kind of grew pretty quick. And I grew up a diehard Kentucky fan. And I remember fighting the battles of sticking up for John Calipari at my family dinners as a fan and being like, this dude's the greatest ever. And then I'm telling my uncles and aunts in the Pitino, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And they're telling me it's not. And I remember sticking up for him so hardcore. And I'll just be honest, guys, I did not have a good experience getting to know John Calipari on a personal level. I got some texts late at night. I got some staffers texting me late at night being like, why are you saying this? Why are you saying that? I'm like, I'm for you guys. And they're like, it don't sure seem like it. So I'll be honest. And then when I had an interaction with him last year at the game, seeing him backstage, tried to talk to him, he wouldn't talk back. It was just not a good experience getting to know him. I still think he's a phenomenal human, and I think he's a phenomenal coach, and I think he was the best person for the job at the time. But that's why I personally am super excited, though, because that era didn't end well for me on a personal level, and getting to know that staff and getting to know him didn't go great personally. So that's why I was extremely excited. And another time, take off that stuff. Forget about that. I've actually kind of moved past that stuff and was looking more at the Cats needed this win. And that's the thing I'm extremely excited about. Now, we go look at Tuesday and we look at where we're at right now and look at the season as a whole. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I told my brother I wouldn't.
That's the problem.
I told my
this
brother,
time of the season, we still don't know.
I wouldn't be shocked if we lose Wednesday to the worst team in the conference, and I wouldn't be shocked if we beat them by 30, and I wouldn't be shocked if we rattle off the next 5, and I wouldn't be shocked if we lost the next 3. I'm just being honest. I'm super, super excited. But Tuesday didn't surprise me. And I'll be honest, I made a little video on Instagram yesterday. It didn't surprise me yesterday. Like I would have probably picked us to lose, but I'm not shocked. I think we still truly, as awesome as that looked, I still don't really know this team's identity. I know what I'd like for them to do every game and the way I'd like for them to play. But I think that ultimately this year we're going to be a lot of ups and downs, and it wouldn't shock me if we made an Elite Eight run, or it wouldn't shock me if we get beat in the first round and get our tails handed to us. So, but yeah, right now my vibe, I'm super excited. I think everyone should celebrate, because we came into the season with the expectations super high, and this could be one of the higher moments of the season. That's not just a John Calipari win. That's not just you beat your old coach. That's one of the toughest places to play in the country that you just won, coming off one of your most embarrassing losses of the season. So I'm super excited, and that's where my vibe is. And I think right now we're just going to have to ride it game by game. I think like we all went nuts after the 5 straight, and then we were all ready to get rid of him after not all of us, but some people were ready to get rid of him after the Vanderbilt game. Now we're all on high again. I think this season's just going to be game by game. It's not what we expected when we got the reports of the highest paid roster in the country. But right now, I think just ride the vibe. I love it. I love it, and I love the way that everybody played yesterday.
You know, guys, this was Dylan's way of letting us know that John Calipari has his cell number and texts him at night, even if it's, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. Those
Rando, go.
Yeah, those texts were more staff. I promise.
I preach it. Go, Rando. Come.
Yeah, I mean, the Vandy game was an embarrassment. It just that you talked about the weather, Davo, and it was a snowball effect, right? We came out there, we had some good looks at the rim. The way that we just let that game get out of hand so early and then just didn't have the fight.
I mean, it's a Nashville thing this year.
I legitimately hate that arena, like with a passion. Every time we go there, I feel bad. But the elevated court, the sidelines, it's all just weird vibes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it was a needed to happen game so that you could have a wake-up call for Arkansas. I don't know if we were looking ahead to Arkansas because of how important that game was. But leading into Saturday, it just seemed too similar to last year, right? For us not to have a chance. And when folks in the fan base or outside the fan base have written us off as this team is a joke, it can't compete, Pope's embarrassing Kentucky basketball, and the legacy behind it, even the "hey, it's time to fire him" comments that happened in December, right? And I'm like, listen, guys, it seems ridiculous, and here's the reasons why. One, we have personally seen it at Kentucky where a team has underperformed with a lot of talent and then hit the tournament in 2014 and made a miracle run. We also saw our old coach go to Arkansas last year and was getting clowned for not being a tournament team, and then in January kind of picked up some steam, came to our house as almost a double-digit underdog and beat us. And from there, they went on this trajectory where now they're beating number 2 Rick Pitino's St. John's team in the tournament, right, to get to the Sweet 16. There's too much evidence of like, hey, you can't overreact and panic in December and January, right? Mm-hmm. And what I am fortunate that I'm watching is, yes, we don't know what this team is, but at least we have a coach and a team, and we have a leader in O where they're not panicking, right? They see it, they hear it, they make it evident that they see all the craziness happening behind the scenes, like from the fan base and external media. But all they can do is go play the next game and perform the next game, right? And hopefully that builds some consistency as we move on, and we don't have a letdown Wednesday against Oklahoma. But we've seen small pieces, the Moreno shot, the comeback, the comebacks at home or on the road at Tennessee, or we thought that was the moment that it clicked for the team. Hands down, Saturday was the best game we've played all season. So if we can build that momentum, I think we can finally start seeing what this team can be and what it is. We just need the dudes to really be consistent with it. That win was more important to us than it was to them, and we showed it. And hopefully we look at these next game as it's most important to us, meaning the fan base, to keep this momentum up, because the team needs to recognize that, in my opinion.
No, good take. The consistency here again is the inconsistency. Nolan, something changes from game to game. Recently that 5-game win streak, and I think we touched on this pre-show, and then there was Dylan brought it up. It was like, we were ready to go nuts, after 5 games, and to go nuttier. I mean, we felt like the things have shifted, but then, things change and injuries and everything. But I'm babbling. Nolan, tell us what you got feeling from last week into today.
Oh, yeah. Conflicting ones for sure, obviously. But first of all, whenever I was getting set up in here, I stumped my toe on my desk and said the word shit, and then Doug Shows gave me a technical. So that was a great way to get started. Second of all, this week was weird, really weird. Bipolar team causing bipolar reactions amongst a lot of people, I think. And I'll own up to it. I never have thought, fire Mark Pope or anything like that. But I definitely have thought, this team just maybe can't level that we thought, blah, 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 blah. And then they go out there on yesterday, and they end up beating Arkansas. And what was honestly the epitome of a cow clunker too. A lot of struggling performances from their best players. Acuff, though, I mean, he had probably his worst game that I've seen from him in a while. No, he still scored 22, but that plus minus, man, that was low. And I think that just is proof that this team, I don't know what to expect from them anymore. I know we all like to try to get a read on them. I'm done trying to get a read on them. That was it for me. I'm done reacting to anything in a post game, because that is just useless with this team. Because like y'all said, I wouldn't be shocked if we lost to Oklahoma. I wouldn't be shocked if we barely won. Wouldn't be shocked if we went 2-0 this week, 1-1, had to come back down 25. Nothing surprises me anymore. But that being said, too, we're 15-7, we're 6-3 in conference. You have an opportunity here at home to finish strong going into that week by 17-7 and 8-3 in conference going into Florida here 2 weeks from yesterday. And that could be a huge game that could determine a lot of what's going to happen in the SEC tournament as far as seeding goes. So really need to go 2-0 this week, but will they? I don't know. You might as well just put a blindfold on me and have me throw a dart at a dartboard.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's just the consensus is that Terry, go ahead. Say.
Well, so look, it's from the Batman movie. You die a hero, live long enough, become the villain. Everybody knows me. I sunshine pump. I've been sunshine pumping, like Dylan said, through the last few years of Coach Cal. Caught a lot of hell for it. So this past week, like I shared with you, Kevin, I got called a negative asshole, being a fan. And look,
whoa! You got called a negative asshole?
I was called a negative fan asshole because
a negative fan.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Negative. And look, I think it requires some nuance. I was not, and I think most people weren't about fire Pope. It was what we're seeing isn't it. And I think we need to be fair with that. As our man Corey Price pointed out, Kentucky losing at least one game by at least 25 points in consecutive seasons occurred these last 2 years, the 89 to 90 years, which is probation, and then 1927 to 1928. It is fair as hell for fans to say we can't do things compared to the probation years or the pre-Adolph Rupp years. I think it's fair for fans to be like, wait a minute. And I don't think they're bad fans. I'm just probation and before Adolph Rupp, we have not seen Kentucky get boat race like that. And all I'm saying is, again, I'm tired of watching the games where we're down 20 points and the sportscasters are like, well, if the Cats can get it to 10, that shouldn't make me a bad fan because I don't want to see that. Right? I think there needs to be a little nuance here. And so there were a lot of fans on social media last night. Don't switch it up. No. I'm not switching it up. I just am tired of seeing my team get blown out. So I think we have to be a little bit more nuanced with you either for or against the team. It's like I don't want to see them be historically bad anymore.
Terry, I think that's a great point.
And let's keep talking, Terry, because I was going to slide over to your talking point because I knew we had kind of touched on it this past week. So keep it going, Dylan. Go.
Terry, I think you made a good point. I was tired of seeing that. I'm tired of getting boat race, but then I'm also tired of, like, honestly, it didn't shock me that we won Saturday, right? Like the consistency. But I think that let's just get this out of the way. I do think that there's really not a loud segment of fans that are saying, I want Pope fired. There's a loud segment of saying, I want this to stop. But if we're being real, the people who are saying they want Pope fired are the ones that want that validation that they didn't want Calipari gone yet under any circumstance, and they're trying to get more of like a gotcha moment. And that's not, and there's podcasters that are doing it. There are not media members. It's most of the time, and I'm not being mean, it's most of the time the troll fans who don't have a real Twitter profile, who don't have a real name, who are in the comments being like, and they're also, I'm 28, but they're 23, 24 years old and knew nothing other than Cal. And not being mean, but like, and honestly, let's be honest, that's the reason why they quit supporting Mark Stoops. They got so entrenched in their Cal take that it was almost toxic for the fan base, for those fans to get some validation. And not being mean towards them, they quit supporting our football team. They were hoping he would lose. They're not supporting Mark Pope, hoping almost he'd get fired so they can feel validated in a point that they stood on for years.
Right. And look, you all see all this behind me. I'm all Cats everything. I am never going to root for my team to lose. Even if I have to eat crow, I will eat the crow, but I'm never going to sit down and watch Kentucky, like, hope that they will lose. I won't do it. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't like Mark Stoops or whoever it is, I am not rolling like that. I just want to see my team win.
And I think there were people with big followings that at one point I was having to mute because I looked, and when Kentucky lost to Florida in the Swamp last year in football, 75 tweets, and we're talking about people with 10 and 12,000 followers. And then when we beat Ole Miss, they weren't even on social media. And like they were so entrenched in takes that they were forgetting the fandom. And I was hoping after last year with Pope, and Stoops leaving, we had buried that. But what happened was Pope started having some bad games and things. But what I think now the sentiment is from the people who are realistic, and I even think most of the true media members are like this. This is not acceptable, but he was really never on the hot seat this year. He was really never truly on the hot seat this year. But also, there was a very true sentiment of, if we're going to have this expensive of rosters, that you better be good next year. And we'll tread through whatever this is, but we need to have some just big wins. We need to not be embarrassed to finish this year. And next year, go get your dudes that fit your system. Don't listen to the media members. Don't listen to ESPN of you have this gap and that gap. Go fill your roster with the way you coach, and don't get beat by 30. And then we're going to be fine.
Damn, I feel smarter, way smarter than I was at the
year 3 is a break year, and I've been saying that. You look at every
if we go get boat raced in the round of 64, year 3 he might be on the hot seat.
But year 3, look at the history. And I know people want to say NIL is different. And I'm like, I just covered 90 years of Kentucky basketball, and year 3 is the make or break.
Yeah, NIL's not different. What's different is we're all on social media 24 hours a day, and we're getting fed content. That's
true.
What's different.
That's true. And the fact of the matter, too, is if this team goes to the Elite 8 or Sweet 16 in the tournament, none of us are going to care anything about what happened at Vanderbilt. Nobody here is going to care about what happened at Vanderbilt. We're going to say, sign me up for year 3.
That is true. No, but we do have to quit getting boat raced all the time.
No, I agree with that. I'm not saying I don't agree with that. But at the end of the day, that's going to calm down if that happened.
There are very few people, though, and I agree with the whole getting boat race, though. I disagree with, I think there's some media folks that quit on this team in December, write hit pieces about how Pope, ain't getting it done, and he's in over his head because he was emotional during a press conference after getting beat, which my fandom goes, I certainly do love that, because as much as I love Cal, and I was one of the guys of like, you don't fire Cal, he's the quickest way to get back to a Final Four, until he started flirting with Arkansas, then I was like, all right, buddy, you can leave. I was also real tired of Cal telling me, don't worry after a loss, whether it was close or after he had some 25-point blowouts too, right? Duke smacked him around, Kansas. But
not as many.
I love my team. We're built for March. And then I got to go walk my dog. I actually appreciated Pope feeling like he just went through a 10-round fight and was beat up himself, looked like he was going to lose sleep after this loss. I appreciated that. But I think we have to put into perspective, and I think, Dylan, you've put this out there as well. We got to stop getting boat raced, but the whole Pope can't coach seems so ridiculous when he has had to consistently be without big pieces. Someone put out there, his top 3 portal pieces are done for the season, most likely, unless JQ makes a miraculous return.
Yeah, I was the one that put that out. And I think there is nuance to that, but I also give it I think we look at things in the social media era of cut and dry. And I think 2 things can be true. It stinks that we lost Lowe, and it stinks that we lost Cam Williams. But y'all, he got fleeced on Jaden Quaintance. And
I agree.
Was it ever smart to bring in someone who was the earliest they would be back was late December as your second highest paid player? And I think we need to be adults and have conversations in our fandom of yeah, we don't need to get boat race, but also we are losing 2 of our best players. But stinks Jaden Quaintance is not playing, but his dad's been crazy since the start. They went on 50 official visits. You know what I'm saying? Why did we put our hope in somebody that was injured and had a crazy dad?
This last week with the Jaden Quaintance thing really super pissed me off, because the same people who were out there dunking on other fan bases, see, Pope can get a lottery guy. Pope went and got a demon. That's what my guy Pope is, that dude. And then all of a sudden he can't play. They're like, Pope's such an idiot. Why do we go get a lottery pick? Because coming off an injury. It's hold on. The same dudes were celebrating this. Yes, it was a miss and it sucks. It was a gamble and it's not paying off. But I think that you can, like Dylan said, 2 things can be true. You prove you can go get a guy, but unfortunately now it's a learning lesson of, if he's coming off an injury like that, maybe it's just not worth it, or you have to take another step back and go, we'll let someone else spend that money.
I weirdly agree with
other places.
I weirdly agree with what Peanut just said in the comments, that he probably would never take JQ if it meant if it didn't mean that some people would shut up about him getting a big fish. Part of me wonders if that was part of it. I don't know Mark Pope's brain, but I don't take back my criticism of that move. It was a risk. He knew the risk, and the risk didn't pay off the way we wanted it to. Now, do I wish it did? Of course I do. I think Jaden Quaintance was very talented, but he did get fleeced at the end of the day on that.
Nolan, I'll say this, and then I'll let you finish your point just to interject. One thing Mark Pope has to change, and I won't go into too much depth of this because I told the source that I wouldn't, and I'm not a source person anymore. I leave that to other people. But I will throw this nugget out there. I know for a fact in 2 recruitments, they chose guys over other guys that they liked better because they were either ranked higher or they were PR wins. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's one specific player I don't know if they would have taken if his situation wasn't the situation of maybe where he's from, where he's ranked, different things like that. And that's as deep as I'll go, because I think going forward, he's got to quit the PR moves. If your staff likes a guy, take him. I don't care where he's ranked. I don't care what his transfer portal ranking is. And if you don't like a guy, if he's the number 1 player in the country, don't take him. Quit listening to the PR stuff.
Dylan, tell me we're going to hire a GM next year. Tell me we're hiring one.
I have no idea on that, and they are keeping their list.
Lie to me, please. Lie to me.
just real quick, because men lie, women lie, numbers don't. 20-point losses by Kentucky since 1985-86. Coach Cal had 5 in 15 seasons. Eddie Sutton had 5 in 4 seasons. Mark Pope has 4 in 1 season and a little bit.
1.5.
1.5. Rick Pitino had 4 in 8 years. Billy Gillespie had 1 in 2 years. Tubby Smith had 0 in 10. So I'm going to need the big
Wait,
nation.
Tubby got beat by
had 2.
Got beat by 35 by who was that? Nolan.
Kansas, wasn't it?
Kansas at Kansas.
And Indiana, I thought, ran through him at one point.
Well,
that stat may be off just a little on the Tubby. The others are right, but Tubby got beat to death at Kansas one year.
Well, while we're figuring that out, so we talk about big fish being brought in, right? I put out a post a few days ago that got quite mixed reactions. Whenever I said last year's team may have not been as talented on paper as this year's team, but they played with a ton more heart, got way more bigger wins, and only got, I think Ohio State was the worst loss that year, right? In the CBS Classic, right? And so whenever it comes to landing, quote unquote, the big market fish in the portal, right? We didn't get a lot of huge names last year, right? Kobe Bryant was a big name, but he was just known for his shooting. And Otega Owe was just kind of, actually, he wasn't even a super hot after prospect for the most part, right? He was a pretty big. Yeah. So
who's the kid's birthday today?
That's a Final Four, quick. Dude.
Who's the kid from last year's birthdays today? Was it?
Happy birthday, Andrew Carr, Ainsley.
Carr. Yeah. That dude last year, love him.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite players.
And, you know, we just had a bunch of dudes last year who loved being at Kentucky and just loved playing the competition and just loved the game in general and played it the right way. So Pope needs to go back to that and just stop listening to us idiots in the fan base. And just I'm saying plural, just as everybody. I'm not singular out anybody.
You look like you looked at me.
I'm looking at the screen, so take it how you will. Pope needs to go back and just do whatever Pope is good at doing and analyzing and figuring out what fits his system the best way and just stop chasing after the big names.
Amen. Yeah.
So real quick, let me this is my this is why I take blood pressure medicine. Lose by 17 to Michigan State. Handled St. John's by 12. Get run out of the gym by Gonzaga. Beat Tennessee on the road. Blow a home game to North Carolina. Come back win 18. Come back from an 18-point deficit to win at LSU. Get our asses handed to us by Vandy and just out physical the team, Arkansas team, the refs, everybody.
Don't skip that Tennessee win. Don't skip that one.
Well, I said beat Tennessee on the road. I did.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Stop looking at yourself, Kyle. So Kentucky basically has fooled us.
That's messed up, man.
Who knows what this team is? I don't know what this team is. And based on tonight's conversation, I don't think anybody knows what this team is. But you know what? We're still in it together. We want this team to succeed.
This team is our favorite team, and we're going to cheer for them come hell or high water. We're gonna enjoy the dubs. We're gonna get pissed off at the blowout losses. So let's just keep enjoying it.
I'm okay with the blowout
good
losses.
Content.
I'm wrong, guys. I'm okay getting blown out. I apologize.
No,
I don't think you're wrong. And I mean, again,
no, I enjoy it. The Gonzaga game was my favorite game.
So spun up.
I enjoyed the Vanderbilt game.
How many of your chores did you get to do in the second half, though, Terry? That's
of last night's game.
Any game or the blowout game.
The blowout games I don't clean. Ask my wife.
I could probably eat off your floor after that second half.
After the Arkansas game, I cooked and I cleaned. So whatever. Blow us out by 30. I don't much give a shit.
I'm with Terry. I'm with Terry.
I'm sorry.
I think the blowout losses have to stop. I think that it's demoralizing. I think it's hard that you have to get your team back up from that. I think that you can't let that keep happening, because it's going to happen at the wrong time, at the wrong place.
Yeah, that happens in the first round this year. Then the opposite of what I talked about in the tournament goes down.
Vanderbilt had walk-ins on that were dunking on us and pointing their chest at Kentucky. If you're okay with that, then okay. Whatever, man. Just, whatever. Go Cats.
But like, here's the thing, though, that is so confusing of how does this team, and I think for some, like, how's it even possible, guys, that we are getting blown out, getting beat by 40 against Gonzaga, getting beat by 25 against Vanderbilt, and we're going to the toughest place in the country to play and winning, where if the refs aren't handing it to you, it's probably a blowout in the opposite way. I mean, like, why is this team like this? I guess, and we probably all have our takes and could ask all day, but what do we think? What's the problem? Why does this keep happening to where we can be down 17 at LSU, the worst team in the conference, and then beat them on a last-second shot?
I have my personal opinion is I believe Gonzaga, we had gone back and forth. Gonzaga, we were completely absent in maybe the first or closest one without J-Lo, right? So without playing that game without a point guard trying to figure it out. And then Vandy, was I believe our first full game without Cam, trying to figure that out and put pieces in there, and Trent Noah getting some big minutes and really start to use Yelovich heavy again. So and that's not, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it's like when you have a game plan and you think something's going to work. And again, Vandy, it was working. I mean, we left 6 points on the board in the first 3 minutes because we blew 2 layups and Zell missed 2 free throws. Like that game 6-7 in the that's for my son. That game 6-7 with 3 minutes into the game, and it doesn't feel like a game we have to press and have 3 straight turnovers. Now we're getting beat by double digits by the first media timeout. So I think the same thing that we celebrated Pope for on these halftime adjustments and coming back from double-digit deficits, these games at Gonzaga and these games at Vandy, where he in his mind is like, this is how we're going to make these adjustments without these players, and he brought a big heavy bat and he missed, right? He took a big swing at it and he missed, and then you go and he's able to adjust. So that's my take. It's like him trying to really figure out where these pieces are on top of these games that we win and close out, and we're impressed that we can close out a tight game against Tennessee and this game in Arkansas when all the stakes are up against us with the refs and whatnot. It's a different closing 5 every time. Like he doesn't even know who his go-to dudes are outside of Ortega and Moreno, which is crazy that this team, we knew Ortega was going to be a key piece, but the fact that the other linchpin is Malachi Moreno, like I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be like he drives the team. He's that good.
Denzel could play 40 minutes and I wouldn't care. I think I think he needs to ride with him. I love Jasper's little spurts, but like
I agree.
Consistent. I think he just needs to ride with Denzel. If he wants to bring in Jasper, it can be for somebody else. I think the team, as frustrating as he can be since Lowe went out, I think he's took a different role and embraced it. I think him and Owe playing 38 minutes last night is good with me. I mean,
100%. But do you agree that Zell and Colin and those 2 other guards, and even Trent Noah maybe to extent, like these guys, Andre Yelovich, these dudes are like ancillary pieces where if you get some extra out of them, you can maybe get big nights. But from what I'm watching, your anchors are Owe and Moreno. Like when you got to get a bucket, when you have to get a key, like these 2 got to be in the game together because they're going to give you hustle plays and they're going to score the basketball as well as play great defense.
I'm going to throw Colin Chandler in there, by the way.
Yes, stay with this. Who is right now the rotation for us, guys? Dave, I'll start with you. Who has to get the minutes right now?
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Right now, you got to roll with Zell. You got to roll with Tega. I think it depends on game by game basis, but right now I don't think you have much of a choice. You got to roll with Chandler. You got to roll with Marino. And then that 4 spot is tricky. BG, he showed some flashes against Arkansas to show like he's coming back to life a little bit. And then you got Jelly. So and then Noah came off the bench and kind of gave the big middle finger to Cal and said, "Ha ha, look what you missed out." So I don't know. I think it's got to be that very small, 7-man rotation, right? It's
well, that's my point. It's shrinking to this.
Yeah, and you got Jasper coming off the bench, to take care of Owe if he gets in foul trouble, which we don't need him to do that. And Zell, kind of spare his minutes. That's it.
All right, TB.
That's about as far as you can go.
Well, you got to put Diabate in there, right? Like Mo has kind of found his role, and when it's physical, when it's tough. The St. John's game and last night, you need him in there to create extra possessions. So it's going to be a game by game situation, right? I don't know if you can say these are our 7 or 8. It's game by game. And I understand the frustration with that, right? Like I understand not knowing these are my 5 closers, right? Like when you look at all these great teams, we know who the 5 is going to be, right? You look back at the Golden State Warriors, that death lineup. We're going to outscore you by 30 points over the next 10 minutes with these guys on the floor. And not being able to do that is a little bit tough.
Let's, you bring up actually a good point, and I'm gonna get you to say it, and you do every week, brother. That's why you're here. Who are TB's 5 on the floor the final 4 minutes of the game? I'm gonna ask everybody the same. Right as of right now. Go, Terry.
Okay, Zell, Oweh, Chandler, Moreno, and I would go with Diabate.
For now.
A little unconventional, but that's my thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say ditto to TB.
Did you not? I know I didn't give you time to do your homework, but okay. Dylan, who's your 5?
I personally don't think there's another 5 out there. I'd like for the end of games. I think that everybody's answer probably needs to be the same, unless we're playing a team that you need to stretch the floor, and then maybe Yelovich instead of Diabate. But I think that's very sparingly depending on the thing. You talked about depending on the team. I personally, how many people are watching this? It wouldn't hurt my feelings if Brandon Garrett.
How many viewers?
Yeah,
if it's Dylan's certain tier of information
I love the kid. He's been super good to me. I had an amazing time writing the story about getting to tell the opportunity of I got down to sit with him and talk with him about his son and that experience. And I met with him and Mark Pope individually. And I do think he's a little misunderstood when I sat in that interview with him. And I really enjoyed that. I just think for every 2 good plays he makes 4 or 5 bad ones. And I know that we have to play somebody because Moreno is not conditioned well enough to play as long as we would like him to. And there's times that you need, like Garrison's, hey, I'll go fight somebody. I tell you what, we're talking about the 5 at the end of the line, at the end of the thing. Let's go to a full healthy team and let's talk about who would win a fist fight. If we had the 5 of Zell, Oweh, Cam Williams, Diabate, and Garrison, we'd whip anybody in the country if you wanted to straight up go in and fist fight them. I don't know if we'd win a basketball game, but we'd beat anybody in the country. Those all 5.
You got to throw Trenton O in there because he's from Harlan County.
I know
everybody saw my meme I put out last night from Justified. I wouldn't fight a Harlan County dude.
No, sitting courtside, there is nobody that quietly talks more trash than Cam Williams. I will never forget hearing him tell a guy, hey, they had me guard the best player, and I don't know why I'm guarding you. He told a guy that one night. And I was like, I looked and was like, oh, he just said that to that guy. So I do think that it's fluid, but I think the fluidness only comes at the 4 spot, depending on who we play. If you're talking about end of the possession, I think Jasper's going to have to get some minutes, but I think you're also going to have to be aware enough that if it's not one of his nights, almost like Rob used to be, you got to sit him. I think, and Jasper is a much lesser version of that, but I think the rotation's got to be the 5 that he mentioned, Yelovich. They're going to play Garrison. Pope has a super big affinity for him no matter what the situation is. I think there's some games that Yelovich could slide down to the 5 to give Moreno a breather and Diabate come in and provide the toughness. Not every night, and then Garrison doesn't see the floor much, but I do think there's nights of that, but Pope's not going to do it. So I think the 5 that everybody mentioned, Garrison, Yelovich, and Trent, are the 8 that are going to play pretty consistently.
Great. Dylan in T-2 hours is going to get a text from Mark Pope. It's like, that little comment on Round of Shots about me not playing players. Can you please stop that?
Yeah, no. Mark's awesome. Mark is extremely good to work with.
Kyle, Rando, go.
Yeah, no, I think I would change the lineup depending on. So if you gave me the caveat of are we winning or are we losing? If we're winning the game, we got to close it out. Give me Mo at the 4, Moreno at the 5, and the guards, we know who they are. If we got to score, give me Yelovich, especially if we're going to get Yelovich. We got at Arkansas where he's actually putting on the floor and getting to the bucket. And I'm with Dylan. If we get the Brandon Garrison again that we got last night and we've seen flash of this game, then he can give us 12, 15 minutes. He can give us 12, 15 minutes and actually be good because he is developing as a passer. I've said the only thing keeping Brandon Garrison from being Amari Williams is that he just sees the game a half second too slow, right? He sees the pass Amari saw last year. He's just slow to get to it. And by that time, at this level, it's going to get tipped and it's a turnover, right? He's starting to speed it up. That back cut from Oweh, he saw it happening before it happened, and Oweh got the N1 slam, right? So he's starting to kind of get there. but I would love to see more of the Mo D at the 5, Yelovich at the 4, and then a 3-guard lineup. Even Trent Noah play in the 3 to stretch it out because he can score and he can defend.
Worked great against LSU. That's the only time we've seen it Mo at the 5, and it worked phenomenal there for a minute.
We need to see more. We need to see more of it. But I think if you're going to close it out with a 4 solidified, and then the 4 spot is where you could potentially make some adjustments. Like if you got to score, it's Yelovich. If you're defending and just rebounding and closing out and need a dog in there, then it's Mo.
Kyle, are you still with us, or you got to bounce?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off. I appreciate you letting me come on here and talk ball. What I really wanted to do was just look Davo in the face and be like, "I told you, my guy."
Not only Davo, he looked you in the face, but he at a moment earlier he looked at himself in the face. I'm like, Kyle, wake up!
I gotta look at myself. I'm right here on the dang on the thing, man.
Okay.
Hey, I was a man, and I admitted my wrong.
You did. I appreciate you.
It's winter time, so there ain't no crows to shoot out of the sky around here in Shelbyville. But once I see one, I'll make sure to put it in the fry pan and eat it up for you. I got you.
Just for the record, Rando, as I tell people, it's like, look, when Rando's on, I have to check myself. I'm like, we have a model on our show who's a podcaster.
Buddy, you made me feel too good about myself. I appreciate that. This is a haggard looking face. I'm 35 looking 45. So, but I do appreciate
you and your service, all that good stuff. Go have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Check us out at the Super Bowl next week.
Yeah.
Tag in.
All right. Follow him on X and his all his crew. All right, real quick, Davo, was it a big deal that after this season, Coach Mark Pope can add on his resume that he beat predecessors Calipari and Coach Rick Pitino?
I mean, I don't know about putting on a resume. It's obviously some good wins, right? You took care of your old ball coach, and then you took care of the guy who was was previously there 15 years before you, who came in, the year after he left to Kentucky and beat you on your own home floor. So yeah, it's good wins in general. I don't know how you can look at it down the road as what type of wins they were. I mean, you had a good top 15 win in Bud Walton Arena, which seems to be one of the hardest places to play in the league. So yeah.
All right. Oh, that didn't work. Let me go back to messing up. All right. TB, same.
It's a nice thing to talk about, but I mean, it doesn't.
Well, okay, let's talk.
Feel good. I mean, it makes you feel good. Yeah, we beat Cal. Yeah, we beat Rick. But I mean, I don't know. I think we're all a little too cavalier sometimes about what those guys did for the University of Kentucky.
To me, they're still are two of my favorite coaches. That's a lot of years, the quality years with both coaches. What was it? How long was Pitino? 7 years?
8, wasn't it? Was it 8?
8, okay, or 7, or whatever. 20 some years together. Of the last 20, 2 decades plus of my life. Those coaches still mean a lot to me and this program. I thought Cal didn't deserve the heat that he got from BBN.
Doug Shouse does.
Doug Shouse should be investigated formally by the SEC and the NCAA.
I mean, real quick, we'll go. Dylan, Pope beating.
I'm not over exaggerating either. I mean that.
Yeah, go, Dylan.
Yeah, I think in this world, and I talk about it a lot, I've been doing actually some studying for like my other job for it, of like how much time we consume content now. I think wins like that matter more for more PR than anything. I think it's fun, like Terry said, to talk about. I think there's also, we talk about nuance all the time, and that people don't seem to find it in sports. There can be like I'm super appreciative of what Pitino did here. I'm super appreciative of what Pope or Calipari did here, but it's like also it is cool to beat them. Like I loved beating Rick for 15 years with Cal here. I would love it if Pope could make a habit while Cal's still doing it. And like I'm still appreciative of everything he did. I think it sweetens the rivalry and it makes it fun on those nights. I think ultimately, though, you look and it's 2 big resume wins, and that's the biggest thing. Can't fixate on it for 2 to 3 weeks, but I do think there is something about, like, if we would have lost and just never beat him, I think that would have been a bigger story than if he would have just kept beating us or something. But I think now he's beat us, we beat him, he beat us in a down year, we beat him in a down year. I do think that one starts to get a little less meaningful down the road. And I think the Pitino thing, where Pope was his coach, or he was Pope's coach, I think they're big PR wins, and they're super fun in the moment. But I think that it's not much deeper than that.
Okay. Nolan, what say you?
About the same thing. The Pitino one doesn't mean as much for me personally because you got to think from my perspective. I grew up with him as the coach of Louisville. I don't really care to that extent. Although the older I got, obviously more recognized.
You know who Joby Hall is, Nolan?
Yeah, I know who Joby Hall is. Yeah. Bro, I'm not stupid. I know the history. But I didn't grow up with Joby Hall. I'm not, stupid. Okay. Anyway, beating Cal though I think was a way bigger deal because I think it was the only thing last year that was like, man, I don't know what was funny about that.
Oh, it's all right.
Poor Kevin over here. Cal losing to Cal last year, I think, was the only real stain on the resume, and I think getting that win was big for Pope. Kind of get that monkey off his back a little bit, and then also, I would have hated the idea of Arkansas fans saying your old coach went 2-0 against you. That would have sucked. And all the Arkansas
there
fans
is a BBN Hog Nation rivalry. Is it Hog Nation or Razorback, whatever it is?
Something.
There's a rivalry. I mean, because I'm noticing with a lot of, that's why I think I said something to Dylan if he was talking to the other school, but go ahead.
Well, you have to remember, right? Like way back in the early times of the early 1990s when Arkansas joined the SEC, right?
And social media didn't exist.
But, hold on. But previously, it has usually been Kentucky and whoever decided to be good, right? Oh, Auburn's got Charles Barkley. Georgia's got Dominique Wilkins, right? Yeah. There was no year in, year out rival. Arkansas showed up on the heels of a Final Four, and they hit the ground running, right? I tweeted this out last night for the old timers. Keep in mind, 94, Arkansas wins the championship. 95, they're runner-up. 96, 7, 8, right?
Yeah.
For 5 years, one of the 2 best basketball teams in the country was Arkansas and Kentucky, and those games were knockdown, drag out.
Main event matches.
Yeah, Arkansas usually won the regular season. Kentucky got them in the SEC tournament, if I'm remembering that kind of. But they were knocked down, drag out, and then Arkansas just gave up playing basketball. Yeah. Right,
Corliss Wood, all the studs, man.
Right.
Oh my god!
And not long before that, I mean, Eddie Sutton would have left Arkansas.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. Right. Into a lot of it too.
So I'm glad that there's another team that cares about men's basketball like we do, right? Because Florida, they won the championship. They don't care, right? But Arkansas fans really care about men's basketball. Like it really means something to them that I think only Kentucky fans match in the SEC. So I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says, especially Arkansas fans. I mean, whenever it comes to them, I think we kind of started out jabbering back and forth whenever Cal first took over Arkansas and he came into Rupp Arena, right? Well, I think we just kind of had to do our due diligence and clap back at them, right? But at the end of the day, I don't really care about Arkansas. I cared about them whenever we played them this last game because we wanted our get back, right? We wanted our revenge because of what Cal did and came in and so on and so forth. But look, whenever it comes to Arkansas, they can talk all they want, right? A Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? They just had a T-shirt night when Kentucky came into their arena, all white out, while Calipari was their coach, right? So Kentucky will always be the Super Bowl regardless of who's on the Kentucky bench, right? I don't give a damn what they say.
What's the over and under, guys, on how many of those white shirts were left in the gym that night?
5,000.
I'd say a few.
They were leaving pretty early.
I'm hoping some Kentucky fans took some home. That'd been funny.
I was you talking about leaving early. they started leaving early when Colin Chandler hit that fadeaway.
Yeah,
and
good shot
but,
too.
Sweet. I was going to mention this earlier, but like and I know we mentioned it a little bit, but if he wouldn't have hit that 3 when we were down 4 from it felt like 5 feet behind the 3-point line. If he wouldn't hit the fadeaway, if he wouldn't have hit the and one at the end of the half, he doesn't score 20 a night. But when we need someone to go out and get a bucket, he's doing it right now. And I think it's huge to have him right now.
Not just scoring, just making the play. I mean, he had the steal against Tennessee, had a big steal against Texas. He's making the plays he needs to make.
He is one of the most athletic guys on the team. Is it fair? That's fair to
number
say?
One.
I think he's going to be hard to keep this year, honestly.
Really?
Transfer portal. Yeah, I really do.
I think if you look at guys you want to keep for sure, and because everybody pretty much has eligibility left, right, except for JQ's going to be gone.
The
door. But
I'm not going to digress. This is for another show, guys. But eventually, I'm going to ask the panel, table, round. Who is the guy Kentucky builds around for next year? So stay tuned. That'll be a talking.
On the roster.
Yeah, I was about to say
whether it's on the roster or
on the roster.
Or maybe he's not on the roster. But
they want. I know this for sure. They want Marino back. They want Cam Williams back. They want Colin Chandler back. Right. And the rest of the dudes are all subject to the. No, I don't think they're like this. I think there's going to be a conversation of like, how do you fit into what we want to do versus how you're coming back from injury versus what kind of role are you expecting? What kind of money are you expecting coming off injury? And I think there's different kind of – I think Garrison, they're going to tell him go enjoy being a starter at a lower-level school next year. Like, I think that there's conversations around Noah of what does he want out of it. But I think, like, the 3 dudes that they will do what they can to get back are Cam Williams, Colin Chandler, and Marino. And then the other ones are all subject to the situation. Like, they want Mo back, but, like, what's the situation? You know what I'm saying? I think that they're all subject.
Do you think JJ ends up at Louisville?
No. I think he probably ends up elsewhere. I don't know where. I don't know that camp well enough, but I do think that he probably.
I just know the whole Vince Marrow thing, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Probably. I would be. I don't know where he'll go. I do think he'll go be somewhere else, but I don't know where.
And I'm not trying to. I don't have anybody telling me this. I weirdly feel like Alabama would try to get back involved with him after how close they were last time. He would fit them a lot, looking at like the X's and O's aspect of stuff.
Good enough.
All right, good enough. Let's real quick before we start shutting it down. Today, Florida, Alabama played. This was my God. This whole G League. I mean, I know it's the NCAA doesn't want it, and this is where Terry. I'll speak. Terry and I are clearly. I'm the oldest. Maybe Terry's the second oldest. We've just. Things has changed so much with college sports. Staying with basketball here, college basketball. We're now
it's a business.
It's a business. Player. It's semi-pro, pro. You can say it's pro. Integrity of the game. I'm hold on, Terry. The integrity of the game. I'm scared. It's gone. I think it's gone. I mean, when you have this G League thing. And not to mention, wasn't it? We didn't do a show last week, but this was one of the talking points. Wasn't it like a Division 2 level where the FBI, the bunch of college schools were in on gambling? This is going to bleed into because gambling right now is huge. Players, everyone's involved. This is going to bleed into the sport that we're talking about, the sport that we love. This day and age, I mean, it's crazy times. But go ahead, Terry. I know you got that look on your face.
My only question is, we only call it a business because the kids are getting money.
Yep.
Did we call it a business when CBS wrote $1 billion check for the tournament? Did we call it a business when coaches started making $5 million? Did we call it a business when gyms and locker rooms got renovated for millions of dollars every year? Did we call it a business then?
Yeah.
Or are we only calling it a business because the players get paid? Yeah, we should have, but we didn't, right? And so now that billions with the B are flowing through these programs and the kids can get a piece of it, now this isn't what I fell in love with. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to assume Adolph Rupp didn't coach for free. I'm going to assume Joby Hall didn't coach for free. I'm going to assume
Nolan, you know who Joby Hall is, right?
Yeah, I know who Joby Hall is. Thanks.
Okay,
so national title, 3 Final Four. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so for my mind, it's like, okay, when did it can't just be because the kids are making millions, right? So now it's a business, and that okay, I mean it's cool, but
yeah,
now
I
that
think
the billions are flowing through, you know.
For the record, real quick, 20 seconds. When I do at this point of doing round of shots, I have a flow chart that says, bring up this talking point. If Terry responds this way, go this way with the question. If Terry responds this way, go this way. Thank you. Nolan, keep going.
I think that Terry's right in the sense of the money is not what's making it losing the integrity for me. I just think we need it to be collectively bargained in the worst way. I think that you look at the NFL, Joe Burrow on paper, it says he makes $55 million. Really, Joe Burrow makes $35 million. And then if he plays in all the games because of due to injury and he makes it this far, we need collective bargaining. So honestly, I really like it. We don't end up with a JQ situation, or we don't end up.
Do we need a salary cap too?
Well, I don't. I think that you're going to get that with rev share, and then there's going to be backdoor payouts, and that was going to happen no matter what. That part doesn't worry me. I don't care if they make $40 million. It's not my money. The thing that I think we need is we need things that they don't get all their money if they don't play, and if you get injured, sorry, that's part of life. And the pros in almost all the sports, the contracts aren't fully guaranteed. Some of these quarterbacks are starting to get that, but I think also we need that. And the big thing that we need is to collectively bargain so we can set some rules on this eligibility. The kid at Baylor doesn't bother me. I mean, he got drafted and wasn't good enough.
He sucks, by the way.
Yeah, he's not good.
He's horrible.
The Bama kid ended up, they're not better, but that doesn't need to happen because that opens up a gateway for, I think, a world we don't want. Like the Amari Bailey played in the league this year and, played some good minutes for the Hornets, and he's trying to come back. We need to collectively bargain, not so they don't make less money, but so that we can put some restrictions on these contracts and so that we can make some rules. And guys, I'll be honest. I'm not saying this because I said me and him didn't get along at the end. We need to make John Calipari the commissioner. Hey, so I know you love coaching, but that dude is the best at the reasoning for that kind of stuff. Of like, he understands they need to get paid.
He is
but
such a
understands
brand.
the rules that we need. And I think that collectively bargain and make a commissioner would be great for the sport so that we don't have them just taking money and not playing, and then we also so that we can have some eligibility rules.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to piss some people off, but John Calipari is my all-time favorite coach.
Mine too.
At Kentucky of the time I've watched, and I've told this story. I fell in love with Kentucky basketball. The night 1978 Duke, that national championship game. I know several of the kids on this show were not even. You aren't even nowhere even a thought. You weren't even a thought.
Yeah. Before you ask, I know who Kyle Macy and Jack Givens are too. By the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just making sure you were aware of that.
Stop smiling off camera, Dave. What are you doing?
I also know who Rick Roby is. So.
Cal brought the swagger back into college basketball, right?
So
he was
cool.
he was the godfather of the one and done and bringing all the flashy players in. Yeah,
we're going to pay homage to that Calipari first year in an episode soon.
We're talking about what's good for college basketball. Cal saved it. He saved Kentucky. He's my favorite coach here. But the best thing I've seen lately is Todd Golden talking about Alabama and then whipping their.
That's where I'm going here. SEC drama stays undefeated.
He's still tall on that.
The NBA and get some. We'll still beat you, and then beating them by 30. He's
still tall.
Oh,
that's the definition of standing on business. That's
definitely what that was. And Golden, he's gold. I mean,
he's hilarious.
He won a championship last year. He's the man.
My biggest thing with the Bediako thing, real quick.
Go.
I think there's like 3 different things. First of all, it can open the floodgates for things like much more extreme than the case for Charles Bediako to play. Like you said, Amari Bailey. That's absurd. He should never play a minute in college again because he played like legit minutes for the Hornets. Second thing, the fact that the judge was an active donor for the University of Alabama. Unethical as crap. I mean, it's a conflict of interest and everything. He should never had. Now he has recused himself off the case. That did happen, but it's conveniently happened after he, put in that restraining order and all that stuff. But the second,
how did he put a restraining order in? If you guys look at the court systems, I talked to my lawyer buddy. A restraining order is supposed to be for only the things that need to happen immediately for the betterment of the person.
Yeah,
mental well-being. Like what does it matter?
They
if
tried to claim something weird, they tried to claim like employment or something weird, something really crazy, and it was like that makes no sense at all. But the third thing too for me is that the reactions to this and the reactions to all the pro stuff have honestly just for a lot of people turned into, well, this is why NIL is bad, and this is why you can't pay players, and this is why you should never have even allowed them to transfer and all this stuff.
Who are you trying to
nobody in here specifically, but like you can just get on Twitter and you can see it. Like, you can go on Twitter, you can go on ESPN, anything. Like, this is why NIL is terrible. A lot of people think that, players having rights at all like that is a terrible thing. It's objectively a good thing in my opinion. And if you don't like NIL on the portal, my advice for you is go watch the NBA and go watch something else and stop watching college basketball, because at this point you're fighting a losing battle. Ain't nothing going to change. And you just need to be okay with that. This is all court order. The NIL is a Supreme Court decision. Nothing's changing there. So there you go.
That borderline's a WWE promo.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's the truth, though. I mean,
won't you say it because Nolan said so? Say it at the
end. That doesn't come off the top. I don't have a name that really screams like tough guy. I mean, Nolan doesn't sound like the name of someone who's like. Okay. But anyway, like players getting paid. I mean, it's just you're gonna have to live with that, and you're gonna have to be okay with that, and it just is what it is. But I agree with Dylan. There are things that need to happen to really clean this up. There needs to be a salary cap. We need to. I think in the transfer portal, I think there should be limits on how many times you transfer immediately for immediate eligibility.
But who runs this show? The NCAA or the
right government? Now we have no idea, because right now
there's
it's
like too many people stirring the pot right now. There's
the government's involved now is what makes everything really shaky.
Well, the NCAA gave it up, right? Yeah. Their whole thing was they've been trying to get the antitrust exemption from the government. So the plan was to not do anything, to let it all fall down so we get all these cases, because they know what we all won't say is people love sports, but they hate the athletes that pay them.
That's true.
When leagues start striking, they hate the players. Like, look at that guy. I would play basketball for free, but they never say anything about the billionaire owners. Right? We hear all the stuff about the NIL, but we never hear about the checks that they're cashing at SEC headquarters. Right?
That's fair.
So they know all we got to do is make the players look bad, because we're already predisposed to not liking the players that play the game.
But here's the problem with the situation we have now. It's the players are getting their money. The SEC's getting their money, but it's not coming. The schools are getting their money, but it's not coming all from the same spots until this rev share came in. That the system's so broken. Because the NCAA, they're in a pickle now, and I'm not blaming them, but they should have set something in place 10 years ago, because right now the boosters are having to pay the kids because the kids can get monies from the boosters, but until the rev share thing, and that rev share is capped at $20 million, the schools can't really pay them outside of the 20, and then the SEC's not doing anything from these TV contracts, and now it's just you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul, and we have no system. It's all just a crapshoot.
And the biggest thing is, way back when, if you had a car dealership and you had a couple extra $1 million in the bank, you could put some money in that McDonald's sack like they did at Tennessee. Now with Indiana, now you have to deal with Mark Cuban, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're getting billionaires with the B, and now the game is changing. So we'll see what happens.
And that's where Kentucky gets hurt, is because we really don't have anyone like Mark Cuban or like, all the oil money in Texas or anyone like that. We got one guy. And outside of that, there's a big drop off, really, to be honest with you.
Guys, let's be honest. If you guys are Joe and Kelly Craft, how long can this system sustain? I know they're worth $2.1 billion, but guys, I'll be honest. I love Kentucky basketball, but I don't know how many years in a row I'd keep giving $5 and $6 million when there's people out there hungry. I know these people well. I think if you get to know Joe and Kelly, despite what your thoughts of their other beliefs are, they give a lot of money away, and I'm super close with them, and they do a lot of good things. And they've told me that, like they told me the other day, we're going to keep helping, but like this system's broken. Like you can't ask for this amount of money from these people forever. Like, yeah. And there's 2 or 3, there's 4 big boosters at UK, and there's one that's way bigger than the rest. But like, you can't keep going to 4 or 5 people asking for the amounts of money we're having to ask for. They're going to have to get a system in place that's a salary cap, that's a rev share model, that NIL gets to true NIL where you're doing stuff for marketing, and it's coming from the right places. And it's not going to happen until it happens with Congress. And that we see how that's going, no matter what side of the fence you sit on.
Yeah,
they're just they go in circles on everything.
That was the biggest mistake, was them also trying to wait. Was them trying to wait for the SCORE Act. That was a huge mistake too. They thought the SCORE Act was going to go through way quicker, and it hasn't.
We should do a whole show on this because it's very interesting, Kevin.
It is. We got to recognize.
Just put it at the end of the show.
Yeah, I know. Recognize a couple of our fans, Maria, who is in Bowling Green. Dylan has an accent. Has my accent, Pete. That's a positive thing, right?
Yeah, I sound like I crawled out from under a rock.
He is the new Shania Twain.
You guys,
for the record, Shania Twain will always be my.
You don't know how many text messages and DMs I get during press conferences. Like, I know when you're speaking, I hate it, but I sound like
we do. Let's talk about that. When I and I think others we know who's asking questions. And DB.
Yeah, there's a big, most of the questions are asked by Daryl Bird and the Herald leader, Ben Roberts, and then I usually get like 2 a press conference, and those dudes are my dudes. But you can tell when my country voice comes out.
How is it a big deal that you get to blank block KSR with your question?
Say that again.
Is it a big deal that you get to speak before KSR?
No, those are my dudes. Yeah,
Terry, put it down.
Yeah, those are my dudes. I can't say much. Those are my dudes. They've always been good to me.
Okay, they are. I mean, they're in the totem pole in the respect of.
There's one big cornball on here, and I think we all know who that is.
Who?
On KSR.
Who? Go ahead.
Who? It's an easy guess who the biggest cornball is in the media.
I hate to sound like an owl, but
I'm sure Dylan knows what I'm talking about. Probably Nolan knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Hey guys, in life, and I gotta know myself. In life, I'm big on how you treat me. Yeah. And no matter what other people think,
treat others the way you want to be treated.
Well, yes, I'm not going to call him out.
I did specials for KSR before. Matt let me co-host once. I can't. When I was young, getting into it, he was messaging me, encouraging me. I'm not going to say one bad thing about those boys. They did. And they treated me well. So that's how I want to echo.
I want to echo that too. There's actually been people at KSR be good to me as well with some stuff. So I do appreciate it.
And Matt Jones also owns a really nice venue in Lexington, Kentucky that I've done a few weddings at. So
okay, no, we know the pecking order when it comes to podcasts and the whole Dylan, wherever you're at.
I'm at the bottom. Bottom.
Well, then if you're at the bottom, then I feel like I'm lower than I'm underneath that. So anyway, all right. Final shots time. It's that time of the night. Davo, we'll wait to the new guy. Let's save the new guy for last. Davo, you get to tell us your final shot.
Okay. Doug Shaw should never be allowed to referee any level of any kind of basketball again in the history of the world. The guy's awful. He's terrible. He's pathetic. He's everything that's wrong with officiating. And now, go ahead.
No, staying with that real quick, and you'll get to finish your shot. It almost looked like he wanted to be part of the game.
He always does.
No, well, that's subjective. But last night it really did. Last night,
this is nothing.
Good.
This ain't nothing new with him. He's done this for years. It just got exposed, to a broader audience. Anyway,
it did because a lot of national media people referenced that freaking debacle last night from him.
He did it again today at the Memphis game. Start throwing out technicals. Yeah,
really? Wow.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing is you don't understand. These guys do like 6 or 7 games a week. Which that's another thing that Hale as commissioner needs to. That's a lot of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're paid. They got to do 6 or 7 to make it.
But they do get paid.
Do it full time, and they got to make the standard higher. But with that, you got to make the pay higher, right? Like these dudes are doing way too many games, and they're not good, and there's no standard because they don't.
Do you know what kind of money these guys are making? They've got to make decent money for committing.
They're independent contractors, and so they have to cover their own travel and things like that. So,
they make decent money if you were to look it up online. But Terry's right. What needs to happen is we need to get employees of the SEC. There's enough money coming through where this all they do, and they're in constant training. They're in there's millions of billions of dollars that are on these games in betting and in venues and ticket sales. Like SEC needs to get a bunch of good officials and make them employees of the SEC, and that's all they do. And then when they make mistakes, they can send them to trainings, and they can adjust and show how they want games officiated, opposed to him doing a game in Fayetteville and say, now I'm gonna pick up a game in Tulsa because it's 2 hours away, so I can make this trip worth it. Yeah, that's got to stop.
Okay, it's fair. Who's up next? Final shot, or
I was going to finish off.
Yeah, finish it.
Yeah, I was going to finish off, and I know Dylan for sure will appreciate this one. I know we got quite a few people watching, so it's always a good time to shoot the shot and talk about it. I don't talk too much about politics and religion, but today at my church at Simpsonville Baptist Church, we got a chance to recognize 5 baptisms, 3 youth, 1 63-year-old, and 1 6-year-old little girl. So it's really awesome to see the Lord moving, even in times where this country and this world is just absolutely insane, right? So it's still cool to see him move mountains and just prove that there's positivity and the love is still out there. And you saw, I can't remember who it was at our football team, but talked about coming together as a Bible study and just seeing all the youth doing that. Right. So it's awesome to see that. And as I put down in this comment, man, if you trust the Lord, man, you're good. So, whatever you got, give it to him if you haven't yet. So.
Respect my brother. TB, what do you got?
My final shot is, I know this panel is all men. Men, take care of yourselves. Go to the doctor. Be healthy. At the end of August, beginning of September, I was hospitalized for about 5 days with a blood sugar level in excess of 600, which is near coma status. I went to the doctor this past Tuesday after 5 months on an intensive insulin therapy regimen, and now I'm just taking an oral pill. And my daily blood sugar runs, I'm in the green level. So I'm just going to say, don't ignore the warning signs. Go to the doctor. Take care of yourself.
TB's PSA. When you were going through that, Terry, I was fortunately one of however many that got that text message from you during that time to keep me posted.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah. And I just got tired of sticking to myself. So there you go.
No,
you got to do it 5 times a day. It's not fun.
We're growing older and all that stuff. We're all in this together. So
keep it up, bro. Hey, I switched the way I ate and the way I lived and the things I consumed like 2 years ago, and it changed my life. My life. Like, guys, we eat way too much junk. We all are guilty of it. But like, me and my wife just did a 21-day cleanse of only lean meat and green vegetables and water. Like, we was like, let's try it. Y'all, I cut off 22 pounds in 21 days, and like I couldn't even take naps during the day because I had so much energy. It just showed me like how trash that we eat, and we're all guilty of it.
How many times did Mrs. Ballard say not tonight?
But once you cut out the sugar, like seriously, you cut out sugar, it's and then you don't miss it, right? Like I have, if I go low, I got my regular Coke, and this tastes like it is bad. But anyway, I'm right there with you, Dylan. Got to stay healthy, fellas.
Yep. And we're covering all the food groups tonight. Who's Nolan? You go. Final thought.
Yeah, unfortunately, Diet Coke is my refrigerated cigarette of choice. I do go to the gym and stuff, so I try to focus on that. I did go to the doctor this week, so good for me on that. And Terry, we're glad to see that you're doing well, so glad to see that. And Davo, that's also awesome stuff to hear. A little more fan related. I'm going to keep rooting for this team. I'm going to keep following this team, watching this team. But at the same time, I got to do better about not letting my emotions get the best of me during these games sometimes, because it's getting pretty brutal. And so,
is it because the fan base is coming back at you? Why are you saying that?
No. It's just this team is unpredictable. And so you never know what your read's going to be on these guys. All right. So my advice to myself and to everybody is let's just enjoy the ride on a game-by-game basis, and let's just see what happens with this team, because I actually like a lot of the guys on this team, as far as players especially, and I think they got a chance to do something really special.
The talent's there. Without a doubt, the talent's there. And that's the mind-boggling thing with this team, is that we're February 1st, and we still do not know the identity of this team. But we get to keep talking about it on Sunday nights, Round of Shots at 8 p.m. Eastern on X and YouTube. So with that said, Dylan, take us home. Your final shot of the night, sir.
Yeah, super good stuff from all you guys on all three. I was actually thought about like mentioning something around those bouts on all three. But my big thing would be in a world of like I'm a content creator, and I've been in this industry for a long time. But my final shot would be anybody that's listening, consume the content. It's great, but consume it with intention. Don't live in the comments. Don't live in social media. Limit yourself on it. If you want to watch Round of Shots, schedule it out. Watch Round of Shots. If you want to listen to KSR, do whatever. But I'm saying, like, if you want to listen to all the podcasts, do it all. Get on there and read your stuff. But, like, guys, don't let Wildcat Fan 362 live in your head. Like that's like there's more to life than this. And my suggestion would be to take time to sit this down every now and again when you could be on it, and just be present.
Yep.
And I think you'll enjoy the content when you do it a little better. Like last week, I got on and would post and then get right back off because, like, I have to, and my contract posts so often, like, and stuff like that. But, like, I would get on and post and then just get off. Like, people would be commenting back, like, but all week I was just off the comments because, like, guys, you can't. This isn't real life. And I think even going back to Nolan's point with the fan base, like, I think we fantasize on what 2 or 3 people are saying with 10 followers, and it's not a true representation of the fan base. I even go back to, like, people weren't big on Mark Stoops, ready for him to go. Like, yeah, me too. I was ready for it to end. But, like, if you get on Twitter, you'd think that he never won 3 games here, and it was like everybody in the whole fan base was ready to burn his house down. And I was like, if you go to a game, it's not the case, right? Like, if you go to a game, like, don't let social media run your life. Like, let's all consume content, but do it with intention of staying in the right vein.
Staying real quick with that one, I remember last year, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, TB, Davo, or not last year, it was Calipari's last year when people were bringing signs, fire. I mean that's not where I want our fan base to be. And in no way am I saying I think any of us want Pope to be fired or not succeed. But the jury's still out, and we get to do these shows every Sunday night and talk it up with cool kids like Dylan, Nolan, TB's officially one of the
I'm a minority owner.
You are the one of the
Happy Black History Month. But I think the thing you have to keep in mind is if you say 1 to 2% of people aren't very good, the BBN is just so big and so loud that it gets to be overwhelming, right? Like when I've said this before, Dylan. Like I'm here in Iowa, right? They've got a very good athletic program, but they can't support KSR, Round of Shots, what you do, what Nolan does. Like, there's no fan base. I've talked to people that are Nebraska fans, Iowa fans. Like, they're like, how do Kentucky fans consume 15 different Kentucky shows? Who knows, right? That's the stuff I put stock in versus the person with 10 followers.
Yeah, like I know that there's different media members people like and don't like, but if you go look at like Tennessee's main media member, he's got like 50,000 followers. There's like 14 media members at Kentucky with like 100,000, right? Like I'm being a little sarcastic there, but like it's nuts. Like we all talk about KSR and like love them or hate them. The fact that the number one independent sports show in the country comes from our state shows how wild our fan base is. Do you know what I'm saying? The number one independent sports show in the country is in Kentucky with only 4 million people total across the whole state. And like I go look and like, guys, there's like on the interactions count, I'm probably 10th or 11th down the list. And like in most fan bases, my interaction count would be number 1. Like that's how wild this fan base is. So it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Absolutely. I love being a Kentucky fan.
Oh yeah. And for some reason there's this guy
tonight.
And for some reason, there was this guy named Nolan Fleming who decided he was going to do another podcast and add another podcast to that slate of things. When there's so many Dylan Ballards in this world, and you're making it hard on me, Dylan. So,
I mean, we have to credit Dylan as as the information is put out there.
I'm the least among you for sure, guys. Like I know nothing. I'm just here. I love it. Nolan, keep doing it, bro. Like I would tell anybody. Don't look at it and say there's too many irons in the fire. Just do it. And if it's the 5 of us listening, we're gonna have a good time. Enjoy it. Don't get brand comparison and just like roll with it, right?
No, I don't do it. Yeah, I do it because I love it.
I'm a Dylan for calling my mom listening. Like that's.
I don't know if you can share this, but if you can, please share what the ringtone is when Coach Pope texts or calls you, and what the ringtone is when Pitino or Calipari texts or calls you. Come on, bro. I'm all about the sound bite.
My phone on vibrate, no matter if it's my wife, my mom, if it's anybody. And I'll say this though. Ultimately, I really hope Mark Pope succeeds because he has been extremely kind to me. I told the story online and wrote a story about it like 2 days before the NCAA tournament last year. I'm on the staff at my church part-time, I just lead in a capacity there. And 2 days before the tournament, I posted that the roof had blew off and it completely flooded our church. And Mark and Leanne reached out to me to see what they could do to help. And they're getting ready to go to the NCAA tournament. And then Leanne sees me on the court taking pictures before the game starts, 5 minutes before the biggest moment of her husband's life. And she's like, you never let us know how we could help. Like, came over and said that to me. Like, these people are good humans. I really hope it works out. But, we also have to keep the nuance of that can't keep them the job. But I really do hope it works out for them.
That's keeping it real. But at the same time, too, I'm sure he has a nice buyout. So, we can't not feel sorry for him. All right. Where we at? Are we done? Final shot? Everybody covered all the I think we covered all the brought to you by
Dylan,
you get the final word of the night, Davo, and we're going home.
Yeah, I mean, obviously appreciate everybody, right? It is what it is. We love you guys. Dylan, obviously Nolan, you guys got the green light, man. You guys let us know when you want to pop on. Obviously we're getting into the thick of things now. Tournament will be here before you know it. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully 99.9% of it is positive. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, you guys always have the green light, man. Appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it. I love getting on here, talking to you guys. And the same goes for you guys, everyone on here.
Yeah, it's fun, guys. If I'm ever a stranger for a little bit or something, I'm a busy person. Y'all shoot me a message. I'm always game if I have it in my schedule. I love it.
Cool. Appreciate it.
TB, welcome to the jungle. This jungle, my brother.
Minority owner. I'm gonna put that in my head. I'm gonna put that in my header.
You don't care.
I'm gonna put that on my Twitter header.
It is. I'm sorry.
I co-host Cats Talk, and I'm a minority partner of Round Shots.
You're the minority owner because I'm the majority. It's all.
That ain't the way I see it.
It's not the way. All right. Appreciate everyone in the chat. People, all the great comments. On this Sunday night, February, we're in the second month of the year, guys. 2026 is rolling.
That's right.
All right. We'll be back next Sunday. Everyone have a good night. Peace out. Go Cats.